everyone. This is Melissa from Endo Empowered, and I'm very excited to have Jules Galloway with us today, who's going to be sharing some insights about her experience with endometriosis and how she decided that the paleo diet was really what was going to help her. So, welcome, Jules.
Thank you for having me today. It's so good to be here.
Yeah, fantastic. So, tell us a little bit about what you do.
Okay, so I'm a naturopath. I've been a qualified naturopath since 2005, and I started out on that path because obviously I had some health challenges, endo being one of them. And throughout my life, I'd always had this real suboptimal health where I had lots of niggly things, but nothing hugely serious that would land me in hospital or anything. And over the years, I discovered that a lot of these niggly health problems had been due to food intolerances, and that ended up leading towards me cleaning up my diet, becoming a naturopath, and then in time really wanting to help others who are on the same kind of path. So
Fantastic.
yeah, when I was a little kid, I was very unhealthy, but just like nothing hugely serious. Like I got every cold, every flu, every little snotty thing, every sniffle, ear infections, tonsillitis, all that sort of stuff. So I was always like that sickly kid, but everyone just thought I was unlucky.
No.
And they're like, oh yeah, there's that kid, she's always sick, she always comes second last in all the running races because she's never quite healthy. But no one went, hey, you really got to get that looked at. They just went, oh, she's just unlucky. And then as I got older, then other issues started to pop up, and one of those was period pain. So I suffered from the very get-go. The very first time I got my period, I think I was either just at the end of being 12 or I might have just turned 13. I think I was just at the end of being 12. I remember because my best friend and I had a bit of a competition running, and I think we ended up both getting our first period within about a week of each other.
That's an interesting competition to have.
Like, I'm going to get mine first. No, I'm going to get mine first. And then we both were struck down with this horrific, like god-awful pain. And then we really regretted wanting to be first after that. We're like, oh, God, why did we even want this?
Yeah.
So, like, I had issues from the very, very get-go, the very first time. In fact, I got the tummy cramps before I even realized I got my period the first time. I just thought I'd had a big tummy cramp. And so I just was told that was kind of normal. And then when I was about 16, 17, I went on the pill, and that fixed it.
Oh, yes.
Well, it didn't fix it. It just made
suppressed it is the right word.
That's it. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So then I happily suppressed it right into my 20s and then towards my 30s. And then as I got a bit older, I was getting some nasty side effects from the pill, and we were considering starting a family. And so I went off the pill, and that's when the fun and games really started. And because I'd had food intolerances and I'd fixed that up with a gluten-free, dairy-free, sugar-free diet, I was really aware of what food could do for the body. And that helped with a lot of the throat infections and tonsillitis and headaches and all the other niggly things I had. But this endo just kept on chugging along. And then I had the laparoscopic surgery and the clean out and all that sort of stuff. And they said, oh, you'll be fine now. And I wasn't, and I was worse. And
so you were still on the pill then?
I went back on the pill in the end because I couldn't function. We were kind of trying to have a family, but that all got shelved because I just couldn't deal with that pain every month, and being out cold on the bathroom floor once a month, and trying to plan my life around which 2 days I'm not going to be able to face the world every month. And so in the last few years, I had this on-again, off-again relationship with the pill. As a naturopath, I knew that I should be off it because of all the issues that it was causing for me. I've also got fibrocystic breasts, which basically means when I'm on the pill, I get lumps, and it freaks me out. And in the end, I'm like, I can't deal with finding all these lumps, even though I know they're nothing. But like, you're still feeling around there all the time, going, oh my God, is that is that one bad? And so I had all these issues on the pill, and so then I'd go off it, and then I'd go off it for a few months and not be able to deal with the pain. So then I'd go back on it and then have a few months off.
Yeah.
And so I had this relationship with the pill for a while, and I continued this sugar-free, dairy-free, gluten-free diet, and that helped with everything else. Like my skin was great. I don't get colds and flus so much anymore. Like no tonsillitis. My ears are not blocked. All the other things got better except the endo. And then I decided to go a little bit more strict with the diet and go paleo, and that's when things got better.
Okay.
So I also run, I'm one half of Paleo Health Retreat, so I also run a business in Byron Bay, which is a full paleo retreat with a friend of mine and now business partner who's a personal trainer. And I already knew of the benefits of paleo for certain people, and we deal a lot with ladies who want to lose a lot of weight. And we deal with ladies who are borderline diabetic, so people who are a fair way along who really need a very, very strict paleo diet. And so when we were running these retreats, we knew that those people needed this paleo diet. But what happens is, because we're working on the retreats and cooking a lot of paleo food to do research for the retreats, I ended up just accidentally being really strict paleo for a while. And what do you know? At that time, I was off the pill, and what do you know? The next period I had was painful, but it was the first time in I don't even know how many years that I didn't need to take painkillers.
Wow.
And I thought, oh, what's going on here?
But give us some insights, because I know when I first heard of the concept of paleo, my first inkling was, oh, you've got to eat a whole lot of meat. And I was going, well, that's contradictory what I've heard about endometriosis and inflammation. Yeah. So can you give us some insights on, why does the paleo diet sort of help, and why do you think that it worked for you with the endometriosis?
Yeah, well, first of all, I think there really is a big misconception out there that paleo diets are just really full of meat. And I've had, I live in an area where there's a lot of vegetarian and vegan people, and if I say that I eat paleo, they go, oh my God, isn't that just a whole lot of meat? And I'm like, it doesn't have to be. It does involve some animal protein if you want it to, yes. But you also are eating just very, very natural whole foods. You're just not eating things like grains and legumes. That's the thing that's kind of hard to get your head around. But it doesn't have to be really meat heavy. You can have a very, very vegetable heavy paleo diet and it's still paleo. And the way that I explain it to people now is that, say, take a vegan diet, right? You can have a very healthy vegan diet, or you can have a very unhealthy vegan diet. So a healthy vegan diet would be lots of beautiful raw foods and lots of veggies, fresh veggies and juices and smoothies and lots of nuts so that you're getting plant protein. But then an unhealthy vegan diet might just be bread with maybe some Nuttalex, right? And it's still vegan. You could live on bread, pasta, Nuttalex, all that sort of stuff, and say that you're having a vegan diet, but it's not healthy, right? Exactly. And so the same can be said for paleo. You can survive on bacon, steak, eggs. You could eat that all day, every day, and call yourself paleo, and technically you are, because paleo is also about what you don't eat, because you're not eating the grains and you're not eating the sugar and you're not eating the processed food. So you could actually live on like steak and eggs, call yourself paleo, and be quite ill. It's not probably healthy for most. Yeah. Or you could live on beautiful big salads and veggies and soups and casseroles and like really beautiful, nourishing, nutrient-rich, healthy foods, and add a little bit of meat and a little bit of eggs. And that is a healthier version of paleo. And that's what I go out and teach people now, that yes, I do eat some animal protein and there is some animal protein involved, but it's not about the meat. The meat is like a third of your plate at dinner. It really shouldn't be any more than that. And it should be about what's sitting around the meat. So instead of having like bolognese sauce on top of pasta, you're having bolognese sauce on top of beautiful zucchini noodles. So suddenly those zucchini noodles are taking up 2/3 of your plate, aren't they? Yeah. And in the bolognese sauce, you might throw mushrooms and parsley and grated carrot and capsicum, whatever it is for you. and then suddenly you've taken something that, you know, wasn't terribly healthy and you've turned it into something that's beautiful and paleo but veggie rich.
But I mean, in terms of the grains, like, why do you think the grains are so detrimental in terms of, you know, your experience with endometriosis?
I'm still researching, and it is quite a complicated concept because it is different for everyone depending on your individual body type. And I've got to stress, there really is no one diet out there that's going to work for everyone. Even if you're all suffering from the same health condition, there's still not one diet that's right for every one of those of that group, and that is definitely the case for endo. But with the grains, what I've come to see a lot with my clients is that when you eat grains, your blood sugar goes up. Even if you eat whole grains, your blood sugar still goes up because, you know, they are still a very carbohydrate-rich food, and they turn into sugars, or glucose in this case, in the body very quickly. And so when that glucose spikes in your body and you have the insulin response, and then other issues come into play, like the release of cortisol and the effect on your adrenals, then what we see is increase in inflammation. And when we see the increase in inflammation, that's when the endo gets worse.
Yeah.
So that's the chain of events that I've been seeing, that I currently believe is one of the, you know, the biggest contributing factors. It is always a case of watch this space because we are learning every day and we are researching every day. But I do believe that the carbohydrate, you know, and metabolism, and then the glucose, and then the inflammation is something that needs to be stopped.
And it actually makes perfect sense to me because, you know, you naturally have that inflammatory reaction, and then that's what makes endometriosis more painful. That's when you get, you know, the bloating, and that's when you get all of those symptoms that we're all too familiar with endometriosis. So, and it's funny because a lot of people think, oh, as long as I eliminate sugar, you know, and we think of the pure pouring sugar, you know, the white stuff, but in actual fact, you know, a lot of other foods actually do exactly the same reaction within the body, even things like white potato or, you know, the grains a lot of the time. And it's sort of, you know, like gluten-free bread, you know, we think, oh, we're doing the right thing because we're having something gluten-free. And even gluten-free bread, you know, oftentimes they put sugar in it because it's the only way to make it taste good, you know, but it's still...
Potato flour. Potato flour and gluten-free bread. And I'm like, what? Like, it's so white and it's so fluffy. It's like, you know, that's going to spike your blood sugar. They've done studies now to show that potatoes actually break down and cause a blood sugar spike just as quickly as eating jelly beans. Wow. So if you ate 50 grams of potato or 50 grams of jelly beans, they will essentially do exactly the same thing in your body in terms of the blood sugar spike and the response with the insulin coming out. So if that's what potato does, then we need to avoid it because it's going to really increase that inflammation in the body.
Yeah, and also, I mean, sugar imbalances also play a part when it comes to our stress imbalances. You know, if you've got this kind of thing going on all day long, you're going to feel tired, then you know, it'll change your cortisol balance, and then you're going to feel stressed, and then when you feel stressed, unfortunately, the first thing you feel like is a bar of chocolate.
Continues.
Yeah, it's just this sort of vicious cycle, and so no, that makes perfect sense to me. I guess I've always been a bit sort of hesitant when, you know, you get a label like paleo because people make assumptions about these things. So yeah, it's good to hear the real kind of insights on it. And so you've actually developed a program specifically for people who want to learn about paleo, how to cook, you know, what is, you know, how to make these things the natural way, and obviously delicious food, so it's not, you know, sort of boring and, you know, bland, which oftentimes we think it needs to be. So you tell us about that.
Absolutely. And I do need to stress that I'm not 100% perfect when it comes to paleo, and I don't expect my clients to be either. Like, I call it paleo for the real world because I understand, like, we do have lives and we do have social lives, and sometimes we go to the supermarket and they might not have what we want that day, and sometimes we have to compromise. And I do eat an occasional piece of bread, and I do eat, the occasional naughty non-paleo thing, and that's okay. And so this program is not just about teaching you how to go paleo, but also that if you want to break the rules, I show you how to break the rules in a way that's not going to be harmful to your body. So if you are going to have some grains, like, these are the ones you should have, and this is how to cook them. And if you're going to have bread, this is what to look for in your bread to make it the healthiest version that you can. And so what I try to show people is, if you need to be 100% strict with paleo, I can show you how to do that. But once you've got your symptoms and whatever health issues you've got for you, once you've got them to a place where they're manageable, I also show you how to cheat and enjoy life a little bit as well. So the program itself is called Shiny Healthy You, and it's all about going from feeling fatigued to feeling fabulous in 12 weeks. Obviously, it takes a lot longer than that for some people, but in that 12 weeks, I'm going to give you the tools to get your life back on track, not just with the food though, but with a whole lot of other things. Because what I noticed as well is in my own life and with my clients is that if other things aren't in place around the food, then it's very hard to stick to a diet. So if you're stressed or unhappy or unfit or you're not moving your body, then what's going to happen is it's going to be harder to actually stick to the paleo diet and have the energy to cook. So I not only teach people how to cook and what to eat and what food to buy and what to do with it, I also bring in experts from all around the place to show you how to get moving your body, how to change your mindset, how to deal with stress. So we also cover and touch upon things like yoga and meditation and a little bit of personal training and a little bit of life coaching, just so that you can really get a holistic experience that will help you.
There's so much headspace that comes around diet. I know, a lot of the girls, they'll say, I try to do gluten-free, but it's sort of all the foods that I need in my life. Like, I need my cupcake as my reward, or when I'm in pain, those are the foods that I get me through those times. It's an emotional support that you often don't get necessarily in your life. Some people don't have a network of people that can support them, and so food is something they can reach for. It's there 24/7, and so I can totally understand the emotional ties that we feel. So getting in tune with that and coming from a place of nurturing, I think is the key thing that it's really important, and we often dismiss it and go, I'll just keep going, I'll just keep pushing, and then we experience pain. So
and that pushing causes stress, right? And when you're stressed, your body releases more cortisol. And when your body releases more cortisol, you're going to have things like food cravings and weight gain and all kinds of issues. So it is a vicious cycle, which is why a lot of this program is really about showing people how to deal with stress and to find other ways to cope with stress. So, before you reach for that cupcake, here's a quick meditation or breathing exercise or 12 minutes of very gentle yoga that you can try first. And then if you still want the cupcake, what about this other dessert that we can make in 10 minutes? Like, here's some, lovely raw chocolate bliss balls that are anti-inflammatory for you. Maybe you can try this first. So it's all about just distracting you as well, so that when you feel stressed, you don't go down that same path time after time. And sometimes it's very problematic when you start down these sorts of paths to healthier living, because you're always thinking about what you can't have. And as soon as you feel deprived, you'll want it more, right? Yeah. Guaranteed. Yeah. Every time someone says you can't have that cupcake, you're like, cupcake. And so instead of thinking about the cupcake, what I really want people to do is to think about something else they can do just to distract themselves for 5 to 10 minutes. And then after that, if you still want the cupcake, have it, but eat it mindfully and eat it slowly and, enjoy it. And then also take note of how it makes you feel afterwards. And that's going to help you to make better choices in the future. So we're not all about being super strict, but we are about showing you options and alternatives and hopefully just easing you in, gradually and giving you those tools to keep going once you finish the program too.
No, and what I really like about the program is that, you show us really the basics, of like how to make almond milk and, and how to make courgette pasta, which I did put on my nude food show because, I love making, courgette pasta. It's like the best thing ever. But, it's a lot of things that I guess, a lot of us don't know about, and people sort of say, well, how do you make almond milk? And for us it's obviously quite easy, we're sort of familiar with it, but for a lot of people it's sort of, when you're starting out, it's like, I don't know how to make that, and the idea of trying new things is quite daunting. So I think what's nice about your program is it's really guides people how to do things, and it takes them step by step, and it's not sort of you're just left to trying to figure things out, which
and it's not as time consuming as you might think either. So this is all about taking things that you might think are going to take you a lot of time and to make it really simple and really fast, and that way there's really no excuse not to do it. Like, you can make a smoothie just as quickly as you can make 2 slices of toast, right? I guarantee it. So these are the sorts of things that I like to teach people. I say, okay, well, in the time that it takes you to get the bread out and put it in the toaster and then wait for it to cook, I reckon I can race you and make a smoothie, and let's see. And then you show people how to put that together the night before, so it's actually even faster than making toast. So stuff like that is, it's so important, because if you can make things fast and simple, then people are more likely to do it and stick to it.
Yeah, and I think the main thing is it's the knowing how. I think oftentimes we go, oh yeah, sure, I could try and eat healthy, but I'm not quite sure how. I don't quite know what to eat instead of what I'm currently eating, and then that becomes like a block of, okay, it's too challenging. I don't know where to start. Oh, I could try this recipe, or I could sit and Google and try and figure out, what I could eat or whatever. And it takes so much time and so much effort that you just go, you might go for a week and then kind of dismiss it, So a lot of us are busy, we have jobs, or, we have other things going on. And so the idea of making a change often seems quite daunting. So I think it's so nice that your program, has accommodated that. So yeah. So how does the program laid out? Tell us, what's inside. Give us an insight of what we get when we get inside.
Well, it's a 12-week program, and every week for 12 weeks you'll receive 3 videos, and they're not super, super long, but most of them will be within about sort of 10 to 15 minutes to watch. Every Monday you'll receive a little how-to video, so it will be me just having a chat with you, usually about something to do with health, like what we explained with the blood sugar. We have like one week where I talk about the blood sugar roller coaster and its effect on the body. Sometimes it might just be me having a chat with you about certain kinds of food, and there might be a how to buy this and what to throw out of your pantry and what to put in your pantry. So the first video every week will be informative and a little bit fun, because it's me delivering it, so it's never going to be too serious or overwhelming. The second video each week will be an interview with somebody in the health industry that I really respect and admire. So I've got some amazing and beautiful souls on board who will be interviewed and talk about everything from paleo food to holistic cooking to mindset and life coaching. I've got a lady on to talk about meditation and stress. I've got a best-selling author coming in to talk about, life purpose. So there's a little bit of everything in there that's really just to help inspire and motivate you to keep going. There's some yoga and personal training in there as well. And then the third video every week, which will be delivered on the Friday, is going to be the Jules cooking show.
That's going to be awesome. Yeah, that's cool.
It's me in the kitchen. Actually, it's me and my mum-in-law's kitchen, because her kitchen's got better lighting. So it's me me taking over my mum-in-law's lovely kitchen, and I'll be showing you how to cook really fast and simple meals from scratch. And again, like I said, it's only going to be a 10 to 15 minute video each time, so they're going to be simple and they're going to be fast and they're going to be a lot of fun. And we will go through all the, the almond milk and, the veggie pasta and the making smoothies and to how to make a raw dessert, how to make bliss balls. So really cool, fun stuff.
Cool.
So they're the 3 videos you receive each week. There's also a recipe bank which will be available to you all the time, where you can go in and mix and match from over 60 different recipes. And instead of being told what to eat each day, because I've done those programs and I don't love them, and I find that people start to, they start out all right, they come out of the blocks hard, but then they just kind of stop doing it or they cheat a bit. So instead of telling you what to eat every day, I've just put all the recipes, loaded them all up onto the website from the get-go, and there'll be meal planning templates and shopping lists that are there for you to fill out, so you learn how to plan your own meals, and you only have to take from that program what you want to eat. And if you want to intersperse that with whatever, if you want to have bread one day and eat something from the program the next, like that's totally up to you if you want to do it in little steps as well. There's also going to be some other resources up there too, so whatever I can help you out with, like I said, there's shopping list, meal planners, there'll be a little list of things to stock in your pantry and a list of things to throw out, and then the best part, my favorite bit, there's going to be a Facebook group that's just for people doing the program, so that you can all support each other, and it's a nice safe place where you can all chat about your trials and tribulations and share your wins, and then share your pain as well, and support each other and really be there for each other. And that Facebook group will keep going after the program finishes as well. And I'm also looking to put together a private Pinterest board for recipes as well, so that we can all get together and share extra recipes in there as well.
Fantastic. That sounds so awesome. That's so awesome. So you've got a special promo going. It's the 26th of April in Australia, so it's 25th for those in the States and that side of the world. Tell us about that.
So the program itself starts on the 11th of May, and the cutoff to actually purchase the program will be on the 10th of May, Sydney time in Australia. But there is an early bird special on right now, where if you purchase the program before midnight on the 26th of April, which is Australian time, then you actually get the program at $20 off. So it'll be $129 up until the 26th of April, and then it jumps up to $149, which is still really good value for everything that you get.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. But that's Australian dollars. So we actually worked this out before our chat, so we knew, because I know there's a lot of American followers in my group, and so that works out to about $100 US, which is fantastic value. So, yeah, really good. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for telling us all about that and for sharing your story with us, because, everything that you and I do is to support people out there, and if we can help women with endometriosis in any way that we can, then obviously, we've got to share that information and share that knowledge, because suffering and pain is just not a way to live. So, yeah.
Well, I've just had my 3rd without having to take Nurofen, because I know everyone's got their favourite painkiller and their thing. Everyone's got their thing that they take, and Nurofen was the one for me. That was the only thing that worked. And as you know, as a naturopath, that would do my head in to take it, but I took it because it was the best thing for me. And I've just had my 3rd cycle without having to take Nurofen, and I'm as shocked as the next person. I had no idea that, like, being paleo, and even, in my case, like, I'm really only 80 or 90% paleo, I had no idea that it could be that good for me. So I'm totally excited and stoked, and I really want to share that with the world, so bring it on.
Cool. Fabulous. Well, thanks, Jules, and thanks for sharing everything, and we're excited to share your program with everyone.
Yay, thank you for having me. Nice to chat to you too.
Cool.